And welcome to the Writer's Life, the place where you get the sight, sound, smells, taste of my particular writer's life, and where my hat's all messed up. Where you get the truth about the writer's life. So subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the bell. Punch the bell. No, I'm doing it wrong. Punch the like button and tap the bell for notifications. One day I'll get that right. One day. And the earth will open up. Angels will fly out of it. Who knows? The Network Society. This is more of what I've been going on about. I got some notes actually. With this Twitter dump, it's brought a lot of attention to independent media. With Matt Taibbi, is that his name? I don't know. Matt Taibbi, something like that. Anyway, he's an independent journalist, and he's the guy who Elon handed the Twitter files to write about and publish on Substack. The Network Society. It is, well, a network of, mostly freelance, independent writers, journalists, who don't belong to the mainstream club anymore. Maybe they did at one time, but they couldn't deal with, the ideological bent that their corporate masters made them take, or the money wasn't there anymore, or they got pushed out for one reason or another. But for the most part, these independent journalists don't espouse to any like woke values or any far right values or far left values. They're pretty independent and tend to be right down the middle, and they wish to report the news as it happens and as they see it. But there's another there's another part of this equation that technology has brought about, and that is like you don't see satellite trucks anymore. Maybe something bad would happen, and all the satellite trucks, an instant feed, trucks would show up, and you don't see that anymore. Now that's been replaced with your basic citizen journalists taking video on their smartphone and putting it up on social media. Boom, it's done. The paid journalist has been scooped. And it's funny because like I always go for a drink after work at this one place down the hill, and it's directly across the street from a Fox affiliate, WNYT, I believe it is, Channel 13 or something. And the place is like a ghost town. Like I even think they have plywood over one of the windows. I'm not kidding. The landscaping's all fucked up and whatever. There's like tumbleweed. All right, maybe the tumbleweed thing was an exaggeration, but you get what I'm saying. You don't see people coming and going and action going on and trucks coming and going and all. It's just, you can tell like it's dead. It's deadwood, just like I've been reporting, like how the newspapers are like this thin now, and yeah, they're just dead. Newspapers have been laying off people every year for almost 30 years at this point. So they'll probably be almost like completely gone within a few years, something like that. Replaced by this new network media that I gotta read it a little bit again. That actually has a better, even a better business model. And by that I mean like the whole, and this goes for fiction publishing as well, like the whole mainstream media pie, like the slices are getting much thinner. Advances are getting much thinner. You know what I'm saying? Pay is getting, the pay is a lot less, and advertisers are pulling out. It's dead. There's nothing there anymore. Yet there are so many opportunities to write and publish what you want to write and publish on your own via Substack, Wattpad, KDP, Vela, and there's a ton of, Drafted Digital. There's a ton of other platforms. I mean, there's no shortage of platforms that you can work on. Granted, I've published, I don't know what, like 40 books maybe with traditional publishers, but like here's the thing. I'm sort of making the shift now to fiction side of things. Like this book, for instance, Paradox Lake. And I did another one with this publisher also. Like I got my like kind of paltry advance. And I fucking knew that like I would never see another dime from it again. I knew it would be like that. And I haven't. I got my advance and that's it. And now they don't promote it or anything, but they own the IP. And so like they probably made up the advance just selling to libraries alone. And now they're in the profit and they just like, if it sells 100 copies a year, good. They take the money. I've asked for the rights back and they've just ignored me. And it's the same for a whole bunch of other books. The one publisher I do work with, they actually sent me a check yesterday, or PayPal'd me anyway. So that's why I continue to work with them. That's why they're the one publisher I continue to work with. And I've signed audio deals and stuff like that. But that makes sense because audio is a different animal altogether. But the beauty of the independent side of things is you make money every single month, and you make far more money than you would on the traditional side of things. I don't care if you get a $200,000 advance, you're still not going to be able to sustain a living. You're just not, because it'll take 2 years for your book to come out. You'll be paid little chunks here and there. You got to give it to the government, like half of it to the government these days. You got to give 15% to your agent, all that stuff. But by going independent, you get paid monthly, and that pay can be really good. And believe me when I say it's like part-time work. Now some people might be afraid to go independent because they might be like, well, it's easy for Vince to say because he's been in this for almost 25 years. He has a following. He can afford to go independent. It would be the same if I used to work for the New York Times and built up a readership there and decided like, I'm going to hand in my resignation and now go off to Substack. And I immediately right off the bat get 3,000 paid followers or something like that. True. There's some truth to that for sure. But it doesn't mean you can't succeed if you start off as an independent. I used to say you should publish traditionally first and then switch over to independent. But now I'm thinking like there's just so much opportunity out there. Readers just want good stories and they want them fast and they want to be able to read them on their phone. Only about 25 to 30% of all books are being sold in bookstores now. The rest of it's being sold online. People are reading online. I know a lot of boomers are like, oh, I want to be able to hold the book in my hand and all that sort of stuff. Great. Awesome. Or they come up with this ridiculous, like, I can't read a book on my phone on the beach, because I don't know, maybe the sand looking in it, but that's all they do on the beach. Just look at their phone or whatever. Or like, it's the print. I can't, you can adjust the print, to like as large as like that if you want. So like, I sometimes don't understand the arguments, but anyway. And also in terms of, and I'll just finish with this, also in terms of this network, you don't have to have you don't have to play up to the man. You don't have to kiss ass, I was going to say. You don't have to kiss ass to like the bookstore owners. You don't have to, you don't have to do any of that stuff. You don't have to beg the editors to, to do some marketing or whatever. And in fact, I've had whole projects, like I've had whole projects destroyed. Like my book, my last book with Thomas and Mercer, I don't even remember what it was called. When Shadows Come or something like that. I don't know. The one that takes place in Venice. Anyway, the development editor for that fucked it up so badly that I like gave up. Like I just totally gave up. And then the acquiring editor left before the book was published, so the book was doomed. I don't know, for some reason, Suspense Magazine called it one of the best books of 2016, which was very nice. John Rabb's a good guy, but like, I can't wait to get the rights back for that and completely rewrite it the way I intended and change the title back to something that is exciting. Anyway, so now that's like a little mini rant. But so, like, but not being part of that system, you're in full control, total control. And you have no one to blame but yourself. If it fails, then you have no one but to pat on the back but yourself if something succeeds. You don't have to suck up to the social justice warriors. You don't have to soak up to the woke culture. You don't have to be a right winger. You don't have to be anything. You just be yourself. It's the way of the future. And the future's here. All right. I hope all of that made some sense. I got to go to the UPS store, send out some books, in fact, to a paid member of my Substack. All right. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Ciao, 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 ciao.